KKD.
Catch Master of the Game on CTV. Oh yes, nuggets of inspiration and delightful treats for your enjoyment. Whether you love power, money, beauty, or fame, there is so much to learn from Master of the Game. Only in the place to be. The coolest channel, CTV. Good morning, Ghana and the wide world. My name is Darkwah, Kwasi Kyei Darkwah, and I'm delighted to be united with you on this special program, Master of the Game. This is the show on which we bring you the movers, shakers, icons, and legends of our beloved motherland. Today, I am very happy to be with a man I have admired since I heard a great song of his, a song that actually helped to establish a certain brand, a certain style, a certain genre of music, which has created employment for many in Ghana and around the world. This man studied book publishing at university, but determined that he was going to follow his passion of music. So he taught himself, he trained, he read, he listened, and he learned how to produce music. And what a great producer he is. They talk about culture being a way of life wherever you go in the world. Well, music is part of every culture where you go, and this man has contributed immensely to the culture as well as the tourism of Ghana, because wherever music is played and played well, people travel to go and enjoy it. And isn't that what tourism is all about? I am with the man, the one who produced that song and sound engineered that song. And then he's the one who did that song. Big dreams, oh I can see. Sometimes I try to make them. You know that. He is Zapp Mallet, and he's here with us at CTV today.
I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be
Happy
here.
to see you, Zapp.
I'm overwhelmed.
And I must add, Zapp is a fantastic jazz musician who has a record album out. Zapp, how are you doing?
I'm fine. Very well. Very well. You? It's good to see you. At least I'm very happy to see you back in.
I'm so happy to have heard your beloved wife's voice.
Oh yeah.
And when I told her, your husband is such a great man. He's contributed so much to the culture and tourism of Ghana, and I love him so. He says, KKD, I know you love my husband, but I love him more. That was beautiful.
Very great. Good to have you. Yeah. Good to have you. I'm happy to be here.
How did you get into music production?
Actually, my dad is he's a technician, electronics technician, so he's into repairs of these things, equipments.
Yep.
And when I was a little boy, he had most of his customers coming from the bands like Nanan Pedu, AB Council, Ebotela. They were all coming to all his customers, even the military bands.
So he was fixing musical instruments.
Yes.
In addition to radio
and other things. So that drew me. That was the attraction for me. Drew me into music, because I every time I was surrounded by music and musicians, I saw all kinds of people with him, like Akwabwa, the master Akwabwa, not the junior one, the master himself, the late master himself. I met people like that. The Nampedu, as I mentioned, I met AB Council, all kinds of people. So that was the attraction that drew me into it. So I was like, okay, I wanted to be like them. Not like them, but I wanted to do what they were doing. So
did you want to be a performer?
I did, so it became a topic of debate for me personally. I was wondering if I could be a performer or I could be a producer. But I realized that being a producer was more challenging, even though, but it was more secure.
Why?
In the sense that as an artist, you have to be called to go and perform. So the day you are not called, you are without job. But if you're a producer and you're sitting in the studio, you have every day artists are recording, so you have people coming to you, and you are so job-wise you are more secure.
So you were looking to be in the creative enterprise, yes, but you wanted to have a job as though you were working at the ministry.
Yes, well, not at the ministry. My own my own job, my own business, not ministries. But yeah, I wanted to have time to do my own thing, So I didn't want to be a performer. And then looking at myself too, physical wise, well, of course, I know there are artists and who are taller than me, but I just looked at myself that time.
You were more suited to basketball.
I was more suited to basketball and to music. So I said, okay, let me just be in the background rather. Let me just sit in the background and control things. And that makes me rather feel more in charge of things rather than just be an artist, you know. Because when you are producing, you are in charge of the artist, his sound, what he sound, how he sounds like, what he wants to do, how he wants him to sound like, and everything. So it puts me in charge of things rather than just being an artist. So
a gentleman posted something on Facebook a while ago. In fact, I screenshot it when he posted it because it made me so proud. Knowing your work and personally loving your work, I was just proud to see that somebody acknowledged you the way he did. He talked about the fact that I think he was sat at a bar or something, or a restaurant, and he was wondering if all the people there knew that over 12 songs they had played in a row were all produced by Zapp Mallet. There came a time when you could not have a radio show, a TV show, a wedding party, a dance party, a youth party, or an elderly person's party without a number of Zapp Mallet songs.
I know.
Now, when you were producing, did you see that happening?
Well, that is what I was determined to see, actually. I was working hard towards it, making myself have
indispensable.
An impact. Yes. To make an impact wherever. That has been my motto. Wherever I am, I have to make an impact. People have to notice me. Physically, you notice me. So, you know, physically I'm there. I can't hide. So I must also do something to show that I'm there. I'm around and I'm important, you know. Yes.
You're important through your music.
Yes.
Now tell me about the production process. A young musician comes to the studio. They say, I want you to work on a song for me. Are they looking at you as a sound engineer? Are they looking at you as a producer? Are they looking at you to help with your songwriting? Are they looking at you to create their melodies or their rhythm? Are they looking at you to actually determine what genre they're going to play in? Tell me the process.
Mostly it's about rhythm. Mostly it's about beats, you know. Sometimes we go through other processes like helping them write the song, because as a producer you are supposed to, the end product comes to you. It's you are the buck stops with you, so you are the one who is in charge of the way the music sounds, and so you are supposed to work with the engineer to come up with the way the music sounds. But that's why I chose to be an engineer as well, so I'm 2 in 1. Exactly. So I produce and I engineer, because I don't want a bridge to come between me and an engineer where it's like communicating will be an issue. But if I'm there as an engineer and I know what I'm looking for, I go for it and I just know how to treat it and there's no problem. But sometimes we also help in writing and creating melodies. Lately I've been working with Ochami Kwame.
Brilliant musician.
Yeah, brilliant songwriter.
He has such beautiful mastery.
Brilliant poet.
In oratory in both English and Akan.
Yes, he's a brilliant poet. You know, so we've been doing something lately, and I've been helping him with writing the melody. Sometimes he gets stuck and he asks me, "So what should he do?" And I tell him, "Okay, put this here."
How does he say?
Like maybe you'll be in the you'll be in the booth, and then maybe is this okay? So something like this. Like I'll listen to it. Okay, I think you sing it the other way is better. So you keep guiding them. It's like you're acting as a guide to come up with the best. And when you listen to it, this one sounds better than this. Why don't you try this? You know. So you have to coax them. They're like, at the end of the day, you're like a coach, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah, you tell them what to do, and they come up with your ideas.
Sometimes are they hard-headed?
Yes, some of them can be. Some
the hardest-headed one you've dealt with?
I can't mention them. There are quite a few, but they can be hard-headed. They can be hard-headed. Sometimes you talk to them, they won't listen to you. They want to do what they want to do, and you have to let them do it, because at the end of the day, they paid you for a job. Yeah. But the thing is that, let me tell you a story. I remember I was working on a production one day, and it was a group actually, and when I was working, there was a point I should have said something, but I didn't say it because I thought the group, it might offend somebody. Yeah. So later on, the following day when we were working, and I told the leader, one of the leaders of the group, I said, "Look, this is this and this." And he said, "But sir, why didn't you say it?" I said, "If I was thinking that maybe I might offend somebody." He said, "No, that's why you are paid."
Tell us the truth.
Do your job. That's why you are paid. I said, so since then, I put that thing at the back of my mind that, look, it's my job I'm doing. Allow me to do my job. Even if it goes against you or you are offended, don't take it personal. Because at the end of the day, we are looking for the best. This is how the job goes. Sometimes people are offended, but...
And musicians, like sportsmen, are,
very delicate.
Are ego people.
Very delicate. The music itself is ego. the job itself is ego job. Without it, you can't do it.
True.
The job itself by itself is ego.
So
it's like radio
any
presenter.
Critique is taken as an assault.
Yes. It's taken as an affront. You know, sometimes you have to cook and you have to act like a mother. Sometimes
that will make your work very difficult.
Well, but after a while, you get used to it. Sometimes when they come in groups, like maybe like a duo, sometimes they come and fight. You have to come in. You have to. You are the one who is supposed to mediate between them and put them together so that the work goes on.
So we're live on CTV on Master of the Game, and we're also streaming on Facebook and YouTube at MyCTVGH. That's MyCTVGH. My special guest is the great producer, Zapp Mallet, the man behind Mesanaba by Achiame, the man behind Big Dreams by Wuta, and so many more. There's a particular song you did with Dada KD. Big song. Do you remember the title?
I remember it, yeah. Odomonije, yeah.
Odomonije.
There's a story behind that song.
Tell me.
Well, we did that album. I did that album with Dada KD at TLC Studios at my 11. And when we finished, I had finished my job with him, so he took his work away. I didn't know what had happened. But I didn't hear from him.
When you say I finished my job with him, it means you were fully paid?
Yeah, I was fully paid. Everything I was done. So we had finished. So for a long time, I wasn't hearing from him. Then all of a sudden, I get a call. It's him. He called from Germany. And then he told me that, oh, Zapp, but there's something going on. I said, oh. He said, oh. But after we did the work, he tried to go and play to a few people just to like assess it and something like that. And the feedback he got was terrible. Yes. Well, why did he work with me?
That's one of his best songs.
He's been working with Bodo Saga. So why didn't you go to Bodo Saga to work? And he said, no, this time I want to do it in Ghana. And I've done it with Zapp. So they talked just because he did it with me. That was the problem. It wasn't because it wasn't good, but because he did it with Zapp. So listen, you know what happened? He said he was so flabbergasted that he took the work to Germany, what we did, and then went to Bodo Saga studio to play it to Bodo. And Bodo said, who did it? Bodo asked him, who did it? He said, Zapp. Bodo knows me very well. The late Bodo Saga, we are very close. He knows me very well.
You're industry buddies.
Yes, so he said, let him listen to it then. When he listened, the first 2, 3, 4 songs, he said, he told Dada KD, that's the story Dada KD told me.
Yeah.
He told him that the work was okay, but they should go and just master it. It was done. But Dada KD told him that, that particular song, there were a few things he had to mention, he didn't mention, and there were a few harmonies and things that they didn't get right, so he would like to do it again. So actually, Bodo really did it, but he played everything that I played. So what actually happens now is that they play this one, what Bodo did, and they play my version as well.
So you have both songs?
Yes, so both songs. Yes, both songs are on air.
Even tell the difference.
People can't tell the difference. They are both on air. They all play. Yeah, they all play. It's a very, very funny, interesting story. But that was one of the big, one of my big hits. Yeah.
And when you get critique like that from somebody you've worked with, not professional criticism, but you see, with music, there is nothing like professional criticism, because you're making it for people.
I know. Yeah.
So if people say, I don't like this about that, I don't like that about that, you've got to take it to heart. How does it feel?
Oh, you just have to. You just have to grow up about it. It doesn't have to. You don't have to take it personal. It's for me, I see music to be choice. Lamar, not Kendrick.
No.
Lamar, of course, in London. If there was any justice in the world, that boy, he made a statement so profound. I'll never forget. KKD. He said, music is a matter of opinion. So what might be sweet to you might be ugly to somebody.
Just like art.
Yes. He said music is it's a matter of opinion, so don't think you have the best. You know, and one of these rappers, new rappers, he made a statement. He said, don't think I rap better than you. Don't think I know better than you. I write better songs than you. Don't think I write better rap than you. But the industry is rigged.
The industry is rigged.
It's on YouTube. You can Google it. You find it. He said, look, it's not like I'm better than you, but the industry is rigged. So sometimes you just being in it, you just have to know that this is how the industry is, and just play along with it. Maybe you get a break somewhere and you just move along with it. But that's the nature of the industry.
One man's meat
is another man's poison. Definitely, definitely. You know, so music is not a matter of absolutes. We don't have absolutes. Of course, there are some absolutes like the classicals. When you listen to them, like Brahms, like Handel, then you know when you listen, those are
Tchaikovsky.
Yeah, those are sacred. Those are sacred. But popular music is different.
No, but well, I would also say that our traditional music is sacred.
Yes,
because a good bandogo is a good bandogo.
Yes,
a good adwa is a good adwa.
I mean,
There's nothing you can do about it.
Like the Wulome, they play so much sacred music. People don't know. When they're talking about high life. Oh, I don't know them. But yes, you know, and those like Nite Ashite, you remember the songwriter, and Naa Manuel, the late, she just passed. Yes, passed away. Yes, and you know, they play some sacred music. You know, but pop music is a bit different.
There's one of those my father loved so much, even though my father doesn't speak Ghana. I speak Ghana fluently. Yeah. One Shahun. Yeah. I didn't know why my father loved it.
That's what I'm saying.
My father says there's feeling in that song.
That's what I'm saying. Those songs are sacred. Those songs that just don't just come. You don't just listen. When you listen to them, there's so much in them that you can't run away from them.
Well, for those who don't understand, God, the translation of that, you know, so we're sending a message through the Son to tell God Almighty that we are coming to Him. Wow.
See how deep it is.
Wow.
See how profound it is.
Wow.
You know, these come from our traditional music. These are the guns. What about the high lives? The things that the students have come up with, and lately Amachi Day, and so sometimes, you know, listen to them, they are so sacred. For me, I see them to be very sacred.
Tell me about the sacred moments that you've experienced in the studio.
Sacred moments, well, not always. We're in the studio. We're always fooling around, making sure that we are getting to make sure that we are getting the best out of what we are doing. So normally, and then mostly we end up fighting and stuff like that. So
you do?
So well, sometimes with the clients, now you argue, Sometimes not about even the music; it's about something else. Well, yeah, so sometimes it happens. These things are natural things that happen in society and happen around us. So, it's not the best, but that's what it is. So sometimes I can't say I've had some sacred moments. But what I say is that you do the music and then you realize that you are satisfied when you're complete, when you're done. You know that, and then I'm done with it. And then when the artist comes, sometimes you have to make room for complaints,
criticisms, and modifications.
Well, yeah, modifications, so called, like not critics, because sometimes you come with critics, I won't even listen to you because some of the critics don't make sense.
Who determines what makes sense at that point in time?
Me, I determine. Like when Michael Jackson called Quincy Jones to take up that in the
and he said no way.
At the end of the day, you understand. So the producer is the one who determines.
That's right.
So yeah, it's me who determines what makes sense. So if you come with a criticism that doesn't make sense, I'll tell you that this one doesn't make sense. Technically, it doesn't make sense.
Can you imagine? Don't stop till you get enough without that.
Yeah, you can imagine. I can imagine without it, but it won't make sense to me at the end of the day. It will be bare. It will be stripped of something.
It's going to be desert music.
It will be something.
Yeah.
And the producer made sure that that mark, it wasn't even Chris Jones who wrote it. That riff. It was Jerry Hay who wrote it. But they put it there for a certain reason. And then the artist call that you don't want it there. Who are there? Do you think I'm Michael Jackson? So what? I'm living there. And at the end of the day, it became iconic, you see.
Exactly.
So, as for who determines it, I would say that at the end of the day, the producer is the one who takes the blame. If the music is not good, he will take the blame. I mean, if it's good, he will take the glory too as well.
No, but the producer hardly ever gets the glory. The artist gets
he gets the glory among his peers. And that's for us is very important.
It's among your peers. The artist gets the glory and the public.
Yes, in the
eyes of the public.
Yes, and that is for us to get it among our peers. We deem it very, very esteemed.
And that is why your peers must all be quite competent and enlightened about the subject matter, because we're getting to a point where there's a lot of populism entering music.
Yes,
and
it
then
is.
It's becoming one-dimensional.
It is.
So there's one groove that works, and everybody jumps on that groove.
Yes, it is. Yeah,
and
because
we lose the music. We just have imitation.
The commercial aspect now is heavy because people get into music for all sorts of reasons. Some you'll be shocked, KKD, you'll be surprised that some people get into music just to get popular, just to get the fame, not even to make money. Oh yeah, they get into it just to get the girls around the streets. You understand? There are people like that.
No, don't say that about the guys. So what about the ladies?
Oh no, the ladies. Let's be honest. The ladies who do that. I don't think the ladies.
Let's be fair to the guys.
But the guys, being fair is speaking the truth, isn't it? Yeah. So I decided to speak the truth.
All right.
So sometimes they're like that. Sometimes people have all kinds of reasons why they get into music.
So that must be the cause of the one-hit wonders. You make one song, the song becomes a hit. Everybody gets to know your face.
Yes,
and that becomes your calling card. Because when you show, they recognize you, and you don't make any money, but you're good.
Yes, music becomes like a product, like a mineral water product. You just turn it out, and you don't even care where it goes. At the end of the day, so long as it fits the narrative that is happening today. And you see, one thing I hate is when people come to the studio and say that I want a hit.
Yeah, but everybody comes wanting a hit.
No, but every music can be a hit. Every music can be a hit.
So what?
Every song can be a hit.
Only by grace?
No, listen. Every song can be a hit, but every song can be a hit. It's only.
I hear you.
Yeah, every song can be a hit, but you don't have to come in to say I'm looking for it. That means you're looking for a certain formula.
Look, the first time I heard Chen Chen Bie Dimewu, I was a boy. But the first time I heard it, because my dad owned record shops in Tema at the time, we didn't say hit at the time. We said, and you made the bopa. You know, people will play it a lot, right? You can hear a song as a producer that a young chap brings a demo for, and you can feel it in your gut that this song is going to be a hit.
Yes, it is.
So definitely some songs cannot be hits.
Yes, some songs
but some songs have the opportunity to be hits if they are promoted right.
Yes,
that's how I will put it.
I agree 100%. I always have a statement. I have like a mantra. Every song can be a hit, but it's not every song that is a hit. So there are some songs that come out, it goes viral, everybody likes it, everybody jumps to it. But when you ask, is it in your playlist? You ask other people that song that you jump to, is it in your personal playlist? They'll tell you no.
It's not there.
Because it's a song everybody jumps to, it's viral. Everybody jumps to it.
You made a song that was on everybody's playlist, and we're going to come to that song when we come back, right after this. The discerning audience, the knowledgeable, the stylish, and the classy get together to enjoy Master of the Game. Master of the Game brings you distinguished personalities, leaders, achievers, captains of industry, innovators, masterful storytellers, creatives, and entertainers, all hosted by a Master of the Game.
His Royal Blackness, KKD,
the finest.
Catch Master of the Game on CTV. Oh yes, nuggets of inspiration and delightful treats for your enjoyment. Whether you love power, money, beauty, or fame, there is so much to learn from Master of the Game. Only in the place to be. The coolest channel, CTV. Hello, hardworking traders of Ghana. I've got terrific news for you. If you have goods to sell in a store, shop, market, or online, call Beautiful Betty or Handsome Kojo Asari on 0245 929 220. That's 0245 929 220, and we will help you sell faster to more customers. Customer. See and hear the adverts on CTV, Ghana's #1, and buy at good prices. CTV and all our radio networks across Ghana is helping traders connect to customers here, there, and everywhere. To sell your goods to more customers, call Beautiful Betty or Handsome Kojo on 0245 929 220. That's 0245 929 220. Class Media Group. We help traders sell to more customers.
Evergreen memories. Wow. We kind those days in front of him. Abra bafu for na parenting edi omo enkwada eba. Me tina wan kono na me put some for say. Na ebe but an check. We bonded as colleagues at the dining hall, the dormitories, classrooms. It's just say me na kan ye bomo prekope. But the question is, and na bomo be omo gina we. Hey, na squad you were here. Olege wa Floozy. Any boys in here? Where you stay? Maybe a school no. We are by the point. Ebinimu tu kwan. Ebinimu ko university. Ebinimu po abrabom semunti. They had to retire to the villages. We are here to reunite you and ensure say in nano that you home common. We can help each other. But before that, I mean, so school then I will call St. Louis, Ola, Wegehi, Holy Co, Preset, and St. Peter's, and I'll call Bishop Herman, and St. Augustine. This is the platform for you. CTV Adaroma, the most program neighbor, family and friends reunion. Join me, Dr. Kofi Annan, on Family and Friends Reunion as we share memories and experiences in life, only on CTV, Ghana's #1.
CTV, Ghana's #1.
Hallelujah. Order for meeting at the Evangelist Pemuka from 7th Day Universal Mercy Center Asafomo. Aya Kasafoni CTV Awoshe Mosoi. Aya Nyamibwa Sunday way exactly 12:30 p.m. Ekose exactly 1 o'clock p.m. Yanemo ebeche eye enkwaje asamti framadamfo na frawunya frobi biara wonem no kaisa Evangelist Pemuka aba yebeche enkwaje asam nyame nhira mo omamunye kese omamunyina mu fri adomu enko adomu ye wanyakopon nhire.
On Master of the Game on CTV, Ghana's #1, my special guest is producer extraordinaire, sound engineer, and a man who accepts his role in helping build a certain brand called Hip Life, whilst also accepting his role in projecting and promoting that great brand of music called High Life. He's also a jazz musician, and we're going to be talking about that. But just before we went on the break, I mentioned a song of his that was on everybody's playlist in its era. The song is still a very powerful one and is one of those key moments in structuring what would now come to be known as Hip Life. The song was recorded by Achiame under the management of my dear brother Andrew Poku Amankwa, and it is titled Mesan Abba. Tell me the story of that song.
Iconic. Yeah, that song, recently I was doing some work with Kwame, so we kind of reminisce on it, and then we were talking about it, and he reminded me of certain things that I said to them when they were starting, because they were just beginning.
Yeah.
So they came with a song actually, and I was like, okay, it's a nice, beautiful high life song. So what do I do to the song to make it sound different? Number one, to make it sound like a hip hop. Obviously, they're going to rap on it, so I need.
Yeah, they were rappers when they came to you.
Yes.
And in fact, when they came to you, they were already doing hip hop.
Yes.
Okay.
But I mean, but this one was like a high life. But then how do I fuse the hip hop to it to get that, that kind of thing, So I was okay. Let me see what I can do. So I put on the beat, and then the guitar intro myself. I didn't know what I did.
You played that guitar intro? You played that guitar intro yourself?
I played the guitar intro. I played the bass solo.
Whoa.
Yes, I did all that because I sat down when I was going to play the bass solo. I said, we need a break here. But what was it going to put there? Is it going to be a keyboard? Yeah, don't even have keyboard because keyboard solos there are too many. It can't, and we don't have the money to get a sax player or something at that time. So I said, okay, let me just get the bass and then just it. So I picked it up and then just decided to play what I played. It was just one take.
Just like that?
Just one take. I didn't.
No, you did it one take because you knew you couldn't repeat it.
Yes, I couldn't repeat it because I was up for it.
I've been a studio rat long enough to know this.
Yes.
That sometimes you play something and you're like,
and you can't replicate. That's
exactly.
You hit your place. I was like, okay, that was it. So I just left it there, and I played it back, and I was like, okay, I was satisfied with what I played. So I left it there. Didn't know. Little did I know was going to be iconic.
Do you want us to go and take a look at some of the stuff from way back and come back to the interview?
Okay.
Let's take a look at this.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Order for meeting at the Evangelist Pemuka from 7-Day Universal Mercy Center Asafomo. Eye Kasafoni CTV Awoshe Mosoi. Eye Nyamibo Sunday way exactly 12:30 p.m. Eposi exactly 1 o'clock p.m. Yenemo ebeche eye enkwaje asamti framadamfo na fra wonu afro bibiara wonem no kaise Evangelist Pemuka aba yebeche enkwaje asam nyame nhira mo omamunye kese omamunyina mu fri adomu enko adomu ye wonya kopon nhira nyina amen.
It's party time. We want to say Ola Bawo. As I introduce to you Safari Zoom Flex live on Ghana's #1. With Zoom Flex, you can join the fun wherever you find yourself via Zoomer. Ella, shake the body. God, it's Friday. Of course, time is 10 p.m. sharp on Ghana's #1 with the man them DJ Last Week Official. We say Ola Bawo.
Give me the vibe, give me the move, give me the vibe, give me the move, give me
CTV, Ghana's #1.
The discerning audience, the knowledgeable, the stylish, and the classy get together to enjoy Master of the Game. Master of the Game brings you distinguished personalities, leaders, achievers, captains of industry, innovators, masterful storytellers, creatives, and entertainers, all hosted by a Master of the Game.
His Royal Blackness, KKD.
The finest.
Catch Master of the Game on CTV. Oh yes, nuggets of inspiration and delightful treats for your enjoyment. Whether you love power, money, beauty, or fame, there is so much to learn from Master of the Game. Only in the place to be. The coolest channel, CTV. Hello, hardworking traders of Ghana. Wow. That video brings memories, huh?
Yeah, it does, really. It really brings memories back in the day. You know, it's so fun.
So who came to talk to you first about that sound?
Oh, actually, they were introduced to me by Marco
Krikumante?
Yes. Marco Krikumante brought them to me, and when he brought them, Kwasi was just recently, he was just reminding me of the negotiations and everything, how they ended up paying more than they brought well, more than they had budgeted because I was expensive. And I told them, but they got what they wanted. You know, they got what they wanted. You know, and we laughed it over. But you know, it brings memories. You know.
Did you get to meet Andrew Pukwa-Mankwa?
Yeah, I met him a couple of times, but he was mostly in
Kumasi.
London. And those times
Kumasi or London. Kumasi or London, yeah.
In those times, we didn't have
WhatsApp,
mobile phone and WhatsApp, so we couldn't really communicate. So I was doing most of the communication with Mark. Mark was closer to me here in Accra, but they were in Kumasi back then, those days, you know. So anytime I was communicating with Mark. So actually, in the beginning, I thought Mark was their producer. Till later on down the line, I got to realize it was Andrew.
Yeah.
That was when I realized, okay, things that was different than I thought.
Tell me about the day that you're actually recording the voices for this.
I wasn't there.
Who recorded the voice?
It was my assistant that time. I can't remember who did.
Oh, you would let one of your assistants do the voices, and then you would come.
When they were doing the vocals, I wasn't there. When I was mixing, they weren't there. That's how sometimes we work. When I was mixing a song, when I was doing all the additions, the overdubs and everything.
You didn't want distractions?
I didn't want distractions. So I was in the studio all by myself, playing the guitar, did everything by myself. And then when they came, I gave it and I said, "This is your work, take it." And then they listened to it, I was like, "What? So we did this?" I said, "Okay, yeah, that's your job. So go with it, you know." So it was a pleasant situation.
Was this a combined house music?
No, this was campsite.
Campsite at the time.
Yeah, I've done so much.
Because there weren't too many music studios at the time.
Yeah, there weren't too many studios.
Well, you could say there were 4 studios.
Mostly we're doing hardwares, you know. Today everything is in the box, you know. But those days we're doing hardwares, and hardwares were expensive. Even today they are expensive, so it's going to cost you much. And I'm elect to set up a studio. So studio was actually set up by businessmen, people who had money, or old musicians who had sojourned.
Who owned Campsite at the time?
He was an old musician, Tieku, we called him. He was even a guitarist for Fela those days, back in the days. Yeah, so he was an old musician who was living in the States. He lives in the States, you know. So he had quite something at his disposal to set up a studio.
And its main competitor later was Combined House of Music, because
I left Combined.
Because Danny Blue had all this equipment.
Danny Blue too had all.
The money came from the pineapple.
Yeah, you know, because he too, you know, like I said, businessman, he could afford all the hardware and everything, you know. So they were using the hardware. It was tedious, but we didn't know that it was tedious.
And those who wanted to pay less would go to Ghana Film?
Yeah, kind of. Ghana Film was more affordable because it was a government institution, and so it was more affordable. A lot of people could go there, and they offer. Plus, also they could give you what you wanted. I mean, I've never heard anybody who had regretted going to Ghana Film before. I mixed Rocky Dawunis in Ghana at Ghana Films.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, so sometimes I move from studio to studio.
And when you would book a studio at Ghana Films to go and work there, did you get along with the engineers?
Oh yes. We get so along that, you know, I work with them. Oh, do this for me. Oh, can you get me a cup of coffee? Oh,
so you know Mr. Kwachi very well then.
Oh, when I was doing, Mr. Kwachi is my senior.
I know.
Hey, I beg you. So
I
he there.
I know.
So he there.
I know. That's what I'm asking you.
So I never really met him during those sessions because he was mostly in other. Probably he wouldn't even. Well, he wasn't on duty, so he wouldn't come. Yes, he wasn't on duty, so he won't come. But I was doing everything from morning till evening. I was in the studio, so it was mostly me and Rocky and his manager and Sammy Kwenu and all those other guys to help me. Sometimes you go into somebody's studio, you don't know. You don't know the nature of the place, so you have to be navigate. Somebody has to navigate you around a little bit, and so I had some of those Ghana Film guys there to help me navigate around if I'm looking for something.
I'll bring you back to the music in a moment, but right now I want to stay with the production process in Ghana.
Yeah.
Good musicians abound in Ghana, where there's so much talent.
Yes.
The difficulty is finding a good producer and a good sound engineer, and probably a good manager to guide you so you can move from
not probably a good manager, a good manager. don't add probably. You need a good manager. It's important.
The reason I say probably a good manager is I've had conversations with my younger musician friends, and I realize they're not looking for managers, they're looking for messengers. You know, because
I think so.
You know, so you want to say gently, because
Well, okay.
based on how much they know, they think what they need is
Me, I can't say gently.
somebody that they can send up and down.
Me, I can't.
Manager must be able to tell you what you need to do and have a plan for what you're doing.
Yeah.
So a young musician who has an idea for 3 songs, he's got this idea on paper, has been able to record singing on a phone because he doesn't have access to a computer, but he can do it on the phone because the apps are there.
Sure. Yeah, we do it.
Comes to the studio, comes to see you as a sound engineer, not as a producer. Explain the process moving forward.
Well, if the sound engineer, then my duties are limited. Though I'm just supposed to churn out the song or the beat or the production, the sound. So there isn't much to do. You just follow the artist. You just maybe you try and get the genre he's trying to.
So let's say he's doing high life. That's his genre. He's selected the high life genre. That's what he's doing.
So the high life, you have to ask him like, okay, this song, you have to ask him tempo, the speed. Does he want it a fast song?
He says, I want 128 beats per minute. But maybe he doesn't even know that.
You don't know. Not that maybe, but usually they don't know. Usually they don't know. So you have to elicit from him that does he want it fast? Does he want it slow? Does he want it mid-tempo? There's mid-tempo.
Yeah.
So you have to know all this. Try and elicit from the artist. What does he want? You have to ask him his expectations. And then when he's able to express his expectations to you, you try and translate the expectations he has into the physical beats, and then you put in.
So at this point, all he has is the lyrics he has sang. He hasn't created any harmony, he hasn't created any riff, he hasn't created any hook. Who determines those for him? Because now he has come to you as a sound engineer, not as a producer. What happens then?
Well, if possible, you can suggest to him to get help. There are other people. Sometimes you have people around the studio who are also who are also into music, who hang around. Sometimes they come visit and stuff. You can solicit somebody to help. You can usually what I do with people like that is I ask them to help, to go look for help, because I can't do it.
What kind of help?
Like somebody who knows better than you.
To be your producer?
Not your producer, but to guide you through the songwriting process. Because songwriting is a process. It's not just write songs. You just don't write blah, 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 like a poem, like write blah, blah, blah. Even poem has verses. He has meters. He has all those things. You have to look at. If you don't have that experience, you can't. I know people who write songs. When they write songs, they write like a report. I know. A certain man who writes. You tell that I've written a song. And when he gives it to you, you read the whole article. You are reading the whole article. You are supposed to what do you call it? Construe that into a song. All those lyrics. So you have to get somebody who will teach you that. No, maybe you need 4 lines for the verse, 3 lines for the chorus, to help you structure. Because songs are structured. You don't just write songs. They are structured. So somebody has to help you. So if the song doesn't have a structure, you have to get somebody to help you with the structure first.
And you have to pay that person.
Usually. But sometimes maybe they want to do it for you, knowing that you don't have it. They want to do it for you. Just help you to. Sometimes they don't need to say much. Just to give you a few ropes in there. Maybe just tell the guy like when you get to the ring, when he opens up, just give him just one left hook on his jaw. You don't need to tell him or show him. Just show him, or maybe the song, this thing, why don't you break this part? The way it adds, it joins to this line is too quick and it's too shady. So you can slow it down a bit. So you give them that kind of.
Do you sometimes give them examples of existing songs?
Yes. Sometimes you give them examples. Sometimes you ask them like, okay, what are you looking at? Are you looking at maybe? Sometimes they write the songs with a certain other song or idea in mind.
Okay.
So you try to elicit that. You have to draw that.
But they don't want to say make a copy of it. They don't want to say that.
You go into it to get it from them.
Okay.
You go into their mind to get it from them, because that will help you a lot to structure the song. Because what you are using is a computer, and computer works with time. It works with clock. It's a clock.
Yeah, of course.
It goes for
the bars.
Yes,
it goes
by bars.
Yeah, of course.
5 in the bar, 6 in the bar, 8 in the bar, whatever. So sometimes if you have 7, 9 in the bar, odd numbers, sometimes it doesn't work. And sometimes when people are writing songs, they don't know how to structure the songs in such a way that the song goes around in cycle. Because the song goes around in cycle.
If music was taught at primary level, on early secondary level?
That is the issue. That is the point I hope will come there.
That's where I'm driving towards.
Because, music was taken out of the schools
curriculum
during Rollins' era. Yes, so the days when we're looking for PAMS card and strategic adjustment program, those days the IMF asked us to take music out of the curriculum, and we did. You remember? You remember those times were in GBC? Yes. Have I said something I shouldn't say?
No, you're telling the truth.
Yes, so that was it. That was one of our base. That was one of our problems when they took music out of the secondary schools and out of the first cycle or the first. It was one of the problems, because realize that our friends who were not even musicians when we were in school, our friends who were not even inclined to music, had a higher appreciation of music than now. It's different. Those days, our friends who couldn't even play instruments, they could appreciate a guitarist playing, they could appreciate a bassist playing, they could appreciate, Louis Johnson slapping, they could appreciate those things. But today, it's like we don't even care about those.
Today, we think the music just comes out of a computer. We don't realize that it's somebody's brain work.
Yeah, so today it's different. The way we see things is different. So so that music out of the schools is one reason why I think. Maybe I could be wrong. This is one of the reasons why I think music has dipped a little bit in this country.
But music has great value in every culture. Because music informs people. I mean, look, if you write a great lyric, people will remember the content of the lyric in that song than if you just deliver it in a speech. You remember Emperor Haile Selassie's war speech that Bob Marley turned into. You remember it? Until the philosophy which holds one race superior and another.
I do.
So. And if you get a good melody, it can uplift somebody who's sad. If you get a good tempo, a good rhythm, it can uplift somebody who's weary.
Yeah,
so music has a very important place.
Society.
So why would we determine that our children shouldn't study it unless maybe their parents are wealthy enough to make it an extracurricular activity?
Well, maybe, but I remember that time. I even did. We were back in school those days, 1975. The book back in those days, Accra Academy. We all do music, and so, some of my mates who ran away from the music class today, some of them are into music. Wow. It's very interesting. Most of us are now into music. We're running away from. I didn't run away from music class because I loved it. But because of all my friends were running away, I was also, influenced to run away.
Let me bring you back to this young person who has not studied music, who believes they have a talent and they have come to the sound engineer because it's usually their first port of call. I spoke to a few young musicians and what they call underground artists before this interview. And so when they go out, they don't go looking for a producer. They go looking for a sound engineer.
Because sometimes they don't know the difference. That's a problem. They call every producer sound engineer. That's the problem. But actually, what they are looking for is a producer. But they don't know, they call him sound engineer. But if you can't, next time, try and coax them, you see that they're trying to say they need a producer. But they don't know how to put it. They call it a sound engineer. Over here in this world, in this part of the world, everybody is a prophet, everybody is an apostle.
No, but prophets and apostles are not the same.
Yeah, but everybody can be one. It's not easy, so it's not difficult. So the same way anybody can get up and call himself a producer and a sound engineer, the same way too.
So when the sound engineer accepts this young man and says, "Look, I have somebody around the studio who can help you," At what time does a producer come in to shape the work? Or the sound engineer then decides, I'm going to wear the coat of a producer?
Well, most sound engineers in Ghana today, I dare say, are producers themselves. I dare say. I'm using it very carefully. Not like producers, but they also double as producers. They double as producers. Probably not well versed, but they also double as producers. So when a chap comes like that, so when the music starts, the producer can now put in his effort to make the music sound the way he would like to see it sound. Like
Structure the music. Here's the intro.
Here's the intro. There must be an intro. There must be a middle eight. There must be a.
And more importantly, where is the hook?
Where is the hook?
Because I hear you always asking for the hook.
The hook.
Why? Why do you always ask for the hook?
The hook is what hooks the listener, the ear. You must have an ear candy. There's something we call an ear candy in the song. Something that will tickle the ear.
Give me 2 hooks in songs that you can remember immediately.
In Ghanaian songs?
Any songs.
Oh, like celebrate good times. Come on. It's there. You know.
You can't forget that.
You can't forget it.
You can forget the whole song, but that hook is there forever.
But that hook is there.
Give me another one.
Oh, many of them.
No, give me another one.
Oh, come on. I think you want to be starting something. Do you want to be starting something? Do you want to be starting? That's a hook. You know, it's just repetitive.
Now, give me some in Ghana and Nigeria and South Africa.
Okay. Ghana. I have to. Yes. And then that song's highlight, right? Yeah. Lumba has a lot of hooks. So like what do you call it? Some girls are dangerous. Some girls are dangerous. It's a hook. As soon as you hear it, it's like like they throw a line in the water and the hook grabs you and then you are forced to listen. That's how it is. So that's why we use the word hook, because it's supposed to grab you and draw your mind.
So that must be the reason why a lot of rappers get an R&B singer.
Yes.
To put a hook in there.
Because
the rap will go on forever and without a hook it's gone.
Right, yes, because the hook works. It works for a lot of people. Because if the rap even can't do much, the hook will save you. So, you need the hook. That's why it was important for Lauryn Hill to be with Fugees, because she was doing flying the melodies and the singing and everything and the hooks, But sometimes there are some rap hooks too, like rap hooks. It's a hook.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I go. It's a hook.
That's right.
Yeah. So a hook is actually supposed to grab your mind and pull you, sit down, listen. Enjoy it, dance to it, bob to it, whatever you want to do. So it's important for hooks.
Who determines the hooks these the studios? Is it the young artists who come in?
The young artists determine it. They have their time.
Yeah.
KKD is their time. We can't do anything about it. It's their age. They have all the technology available. They have all the sound. Right now, amazing things
and they have the lingo, the language, the jargon.
The amazing things that can happen on even using a phone. You can do with your phone today. It's amazing. You can use your phone to separate instruments. You can use your phone to separate the vocal. There's so many things now technology can do that some of us we find ourselves missing out because we are too old.
Have you been listening to the young people's music lately?
I listen. Every time I don't listen. I hear.
Okay.
There are two different things. I hear. But I've been listening. If you hear, then you listened.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I hear Kim Paluta. I hear Familia.
Amirado.
I've been hearing them. Kim Promise. I've been listening. Chatawale, Stoneboy. I've been following. I know what is going. I know, but I say this is their time. For
the songs that are out now that you hear from time to time on the radio and when driving,
social media and all that.
Which hooks have caught your attention?
Yeah, it's a very catchy hook. As soon as it starts, you listen.
Yep.
It's a very catchy hook. As soon as it starts, what's this guy trying to say? Then you get hooked on. So it's like that. Hooks are relevant in a song. So usually A&R people, that's what they listen to when they are trying to determine when they are trying to determine the songs for an album. They'll tell you. They said somebody. I think I watched a video where a guy said, they went to audition for, I think, Berry Gordy.
Yeah. Berry Gordy, that's the boss of Motown Records.
Yeah, they went to audition for him, and he liked them. He said, "Oh, I like what you guys played. I like your energy. I like your connectivity and everything, but I can't hear a hit
because there were no hooks."
He said he can't hear a hit. We can't hear all the songs they performed. They couldn't hear any song that was a hit. So even though they were good, there was nothing in them that could say you could use it to attract a listener and keep. Sometimes you don't just attract them. You attract them and keep them. You attract a fan or a listener and keep him as a listener. Not just getting people to listen to your song.
Before taking my job here as the chief executive of Class Media Group, I spoke to a few friends in England, and one of them told me that I must use the sports analogy for keeping some of my inherited staff and also hiring some of my new staff. He says, remember this, when you see them, some players are star players from the very minute you see them, like Lionel Messi. Some players are good players who are going to be stars, like Ronaldo, CR7. And then he says some players are utility players. They may not necessarily become stars, but without them, the team will not win.
Like Mekelobi.
And then he says, and some players are bench players. You need them when somebody's injured. Now, if you can understand this analogy and position every one of your staff in their category, and they accept what their role is, even though every one of them wants to believe they are a star, you can have a team. So is it the same with musicians?
Well, yes. Yes, in a certain sense, they're same.
Which musician walked into your studio and he said, this guy is going to be a star, or is already a star?
Yeah, like Lord Kenya. His demeanor, everything he does.
You knew this guy was a star?
This guy was going to be a star. You can tell. Someone like Ochami Kwame, you can't really tell. It's like after a while, those who develop after a while, through your analogy. He's that type. There are some people like that.
So he's good, and he's going to rise to be a star.
Yes, over time you rise to be a star. But some people, you see them, like when you were told, as soon as you see him, no, this guy, he must be a star from somewhere. He must have landed from somewhere, from Mars or something. So there are some people like that. There are some too where you don't see anything.
The utility players?
No, there's some are not cry. They shouldn't even have anything to do with football, even in the first place, to do with anything with music. But they are doing it. Sometimes you get people like that.
How do they survive then?
They don't. Because they fall out eventually. They fall out.
And the bench players? Which ones are the bench players then?
Oh, the bench players. The bench players. I don't know how to juxtapose it with music. Those two.
Are they the backup vocalists who never make records?
Well, maybe. Well, if they are artists, yes, then. But if they are just music,
or the backup bass, the backup bassist that you call only when your bassist doesn't come to church on Sunday.
You understand? You see, I think that's a replacement bass, something like that. There are some people like that. They don't play anything fanciful, but they'll play what is needed. There are people like that. In music, that's what we know. There are some people like that. Don't play anything fanciful, but they'll play what is needed.
They are not Louis Johnson.
No. There's one guy I know that like that in America. He's called Leland Sklar. A long white beard.
Yeah.
He doesn't play anything fanciful.
But he's steady.
Phil Collins.
He can't go wrong.
Phil Collins' favorite bassist.
Steady.
He's played for Toto. You know Toto? Jeff Porcaro and Toto. Yeah. Look at it. He's played for big bands. He's played over 2,000 albums. But he doesn't play anything fanciful. You never see him play anything like what I call them is the other time I was looking at the drummer and he was playing like, and I said this is when drumming becomes a competitive sport.
That is how you play it. Yes.
Because you don't need that. In a band, when a band is playing a song, you don't need that.
You gotta be steady.
Gotta be steady. You know, so.
But on the other hand, there's a friend of yours who has so much admiration for you, and he's usually hired as a music director abroad, playing for jazz musicians.
Yeah, I know.
You know
I know. Yeah.
But he is like out of this world.
Oh yeah. Because now you can project yourself as that, and then you can be a star in your own field.
Yeah.
That one, he's not a utility.
Say his name yourself.
Oh, Kwame Boy, I know.
Kwame Boy.
Very well. I know his father used to be my father's customer.
Fantastic.
Yeah, back in the day.
He's amazing.
So yeah, it's amazing.
So I go online to look for him when he's performing, you know, as a music director for jazz musicians abroad.
Yeah,
and
but
I'm
you
like,
realize that when he's just playing, he plays.
that's it.
He plays what is needed.
Exactly.
He doesn't play. He doesn't overplay. So there are people like that. There are those who some would like to come and showcase what they have in your music while you are singing and you are busy. You are relating with the crowd, and you're also busy playing other things behind you. You don't want them. You don't want them. You want the one who come and lay down everything quietly, softly for you to just communicate with your audience and everything and all that. You don't want anybody.
But he is so good that sometimes the star gives him room to showcase because it adds to the excitement of the concert.
The artist will tell that this is your time, shine. Sometimes they give you your time to shine.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. When they're giving you your time to shine, you shine as much as possible. But if it's not your time to shine, just stay there and do your thing. So those are the ones I'll call the utility players. They don't play anything that is unnecessary. They only play what is needed.
They get the ball, they pass.
They pass. Like Mikalubi. He plays Chelsea and he never scored a goal. But he's always in the team, Mourinho's team. He's always playing midfield. And you don't see him doing anything fancy like dribbling. No. But he's always in the team. Because what Mourinho wants from him, he always does.
Solid utility player.
All. So sometimes in music, you need somebody like that. Somebody who does exactly what you want. And sometimes in the studio, producers, sometimes you have to do that. You do what the artist wants. Sometimes. Sometimes you have to please them. It's a psychology work. Our work is like psychology. You have to be kind of trained in psychology. Yes. Sometimes you have to learn how to abase yourself, how to talk to them, how to coax them. Sometimes you have to get hard. You have to get
if I throw these three gentlemen in the studio to work with you, Sarkodie, Shatawale, Stonebwoy, every one of them has an idea what song they want to make. But you've decided...
Are they three different songs or one song?
Every one of them has brought a different song, but the idea is to create only one song. Tell me your process.
Well, first of all, we'll take we'll look at the hook first.
The one that has the best hook?
The one who has the best hook. Is it going to catch everybody? Is it going to...
that's Stonebwoy. May get the best hook.
Well, whatever.
Hey, no. Also has hooks.
If he has it, then maybe.
But Sark also has his hooks.
Maybe you can piece them all together and get a greater hook.
Yeah.
Do that. You can do that. Piece them all together and get a greater hook.
But I asked this question because are you going to look at them and try and appease one, or you're going to look at them and say, listen, we're just taking what's the best out of all three of you?
Yes, I'm in charge. I'm in charge here, so it's final. Even though I'm going to work together, but what I say is final. And you just have to work with me. And I can assure you we are going to get the best. Don't worry about anything. Just leave it to me. You are in safe hands. Well, I'll get you to the
Who do you give the first verse to?
Come again?
The first verse in the song.
Who will I give it to? It's going to be... No, I'm going to ask who would like to take it first.
That's what you're going to say?
Yes, who would like to take the best? You have to sometimes allow them to come up with their... So I ask you, who would like to take the first verse first? Then subsequently, then who take the second verse, then who comes to there, and then even ad-libs can tell them that maybe on the first
ad-libs,
chorus,
you have to give them more to Sarkodie.
You know what time it is?
You have to give all that. No. As for ad-libs, you have to give them all to Sark.
Yeah. So you have to give it all to somebody else. Somebody. I know. I recorded with we did the song Chemiudin.
Yeah.
I mean that song.
Chemiudin.
When choir master, I think Eugene, they had to do some ad-lib, and Pratitia was like, It's time for come to the ad lib. You ad lib man, come and do the ad lib.
Just like that. So that's an acceptance.
Yeah, so that's like that. So sometimes you leave who's adept at taking it.
But it would be lovely to have the three of them do a song together.
Yeah, with me producing.
With you producing. With you producing. No, seriously.
It will be good. It will be good.
With you
But
producing.
you know, and unless maybe you go and house us somewhere on a mountain somewhere. But you know, these days, technology has brought us so close to
you can be at different places and everybody sending their contributions.
Yes, so
but I hear that does not vibe as well as when you get them together.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't. There's nothing like the human element. There's nothing like getting people together to rub off each other. You know, in America we have song farms, what we call song farms.
Yeah.
Artists or songwriters are put together in studios.
Yep.
Now,
of course. So the Koreans are doing it.
Yeah. So sometimes you need to put them together. And so that's my problem with Ghana music. We don't collaborate enough.
I think it's important for these three to get together and do a song called One Ghana.
Because we don't collaborate.
One Ghana.
Yeah. Even ourselves, we don't collaborate too much in between ourselves. Yeah. Ghanaian artists don't collaborate. They don't write songs together. Ghanaian artists don't write songs together. The best we can go is, Charlie, come and feature on my song. So you to write your verse. That's the best we can go.
Because many years ago, I had requests from people. This was about maybe 12 years ago. And some fans in our audience at the Kojo Entry Experience said, KKD, next year, why don't you bring Kojo and Lumba together to do a concert together? And I said, we would love to do that, but will you pay more? Because we have to pay each one of them and their band.
They will pay. People will pay. People will pay and come and watch.
There are only so many people who will pay.
Now people will pay that much to come out and pay for other to come and watch. If you like, try it. I challenge you on
because really it would be great to have Kojo Entry and Daddy Lumba on one stage,
I think
one evening.
Just that people have the mentality that can't take Kojo to show then Lumba show, Lumba to have a show, you know. So putting the two of them all on one show sometimes becomes it's like asking for too much. But I think it's a good idea if you work it together.
We pulled it off in London once.
Yeah, anyway, how's it?
Great.
Fantastic.
Great.
Fantastic. It can be done here. Don't lose that crowd. Don't be discouraged. You can do it here. You can do it here.
Wow. The One Ghana, there's an idea. We have to float it and get them to come to the studio.
Be in our studios wherever.
I'll personally call all three of them.
Yeah, just float the ideas and then just
One Ghana.
Yeah, that's all.
You know, because political division in this country has become too bad.
It's too much.
We need to find a way to let the artists get together to make people realize that we're not about political parties. We're about building one country.
Yeah. And Bob Marley did that concert he did in 1976 where he almost got shot. We can always do it. We don't have to wait for the politicians to do it. We, the musicians, we the creatives, we can take the initiative to do it ourselves. It will be a big thing.
When we come back, more with Zapp Mallet, a great producer, a man who produces music to promote the culture and tourism of Ghana. Right after this.
Hello, hardworking traders of Ghana. I've got terrific news for you. If you have goods to sell in a store, shop, market, or online, call Beautiful Betty or Handsome Kojo Asari on 0245-929-220. That's 0245-929-220, and we will help you sell faster to more customers. Customer. See and hear the adverts on CTV, Ghana's #1, and buy at good prices. CTV and all our radio networks across Ghana is helping traders connect to customers here, there, and everywhere. To sell your goods to more customers, call Beautiful Betty or Handsome Kojo on 0245-929-220. That's 0245-929-220. Class Media Group. We help traders sell to more customers.
Evergreen, baby. Wow. Because those days and in front of him. Abra bafu for na parenting edi ono enkwada eba. Me tira wan kono na me put am say na ebe but am check. We bonded as colleagues at the dining hall, the dormitories, classrooms. It just said, me na kan ye bomo prekope. But the question is, and na bomo bebe omo gina we. Hey, na squad you were here. Olege were here. Floozy. Any boys in here?
On Master of the Game on CTV, Ghana's #1 with my guest, great producer Zapp Mallet. Zapp, how many songs do you remember that you've actually recorded or produced?
I can't. That one is
Okay,
impossible.
I'll just give you some of the songs that you did. Odo Shock, Nana Kwame.
Yeah.
Kotosa, Rexomar.
Yeah.
Kofi B, Mobrowa.
Yeah.
You did Mobrowa?
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
I played that intro, guitar intro. Yeah, it was
fantastic.
It was my creativity. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
In Sasquatch.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then Tears for Kwasi say,
Macha. You played Helena Rebels, Macha.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah, woman be
or come up for Yami.
Your man be hard, Rebels, yeah.
But this is one of my favorites. Yedin Kunim, Yediko. You better say is that Tego Sisters?
No. Yeah,
who went on that one?
I think that was Bessa.
Bessa went on that one?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this person is listed here. But it says, Mabo Udin, Daughters of Glorious Jesus?
Oh, no. That was
okay, so somebody's giving you credit for somebody else's song. But let me go to Nightlife in Accra, Reggie Rockstone.
Yeah.
Keep Your Eyes on the Road.
That was my voice even singing.
Keep Your Eyes on the Road. You did the singing.
That was my voice singing. Yeah, that was singing.
If You Don't Want Me.
Yeah.
Reggie Rockstone.
Reggie Rockstone almost all his albums.
But the Frank Mensa, Pozo, and Tommy Reddy song. Faudo Bodo, you did that one. Odomwenije, Dada KD, of course we know that. I love that song. I think this is one of his best.
Yeah, it is.
And Big Dreams by Wuta. That's a great song.
Movement by
Samini. Oh, we have to find the Movement by Samini video. We definitely have to play that. So, looking at all the songs you've done over the years, one day when it's time for you to go,
bow out.
How will you want to be remembered?
I just want to be remembered as a man who came to do what he was called to do and did it well. Left a legacy.
What were you called to do?
My vocation, music. That was what I was called. And when I say calling, not like calling as in calling, but not like the Bible calling. It's a vocation kind of calling. You know, some works are you are called to be like a doctor, a nurse. You are called to be a teacher. Just sometimes you are called to be. You don't just get it because it's a job. I didn't do it like a job. I did it like I was called to do it. So I devoted myself, gave everything I have, learned on the job, went to learn. Those times we didn't have social media. If you recall, we didn't have social media in the 90s. So everything was Takashi. We meet magazines, we see magazines, and we grab them, and we don't want to let them go. Sometimes we borrow magazines, we travel outside. When we see the magazines, we get them, we make sure we read them, we read everything in the magazine. We don't even borrow, we don't even lend them out and all that, you know. So it's been like that. I want to remember that somebody.
And you made that iconic song, Ko Dasibre Jam.
Yes. That song, it was Mark who came with that song. He said he wanted that song like Brandy. You know they made me out of I can't remember the title of that song. He said he wanted something like that, and so that was my interpretation of that kind of song, of that rhythm. Koko was my interpretation of that.
Driver Susuko, Lord Kenya.
Yeah.
That's you.
Yeah.
You built a friendship with Lord Kenya.
Oh yeah, we're that buddies. We're that close till he saw the light.
What do you mean till he saw the light?
Now that he's born again, we hardly get in touch.
Yeah, he and I spoke about a year ago, and I said, look, Lord Kenya, now that you've got this calling, you need to make a rap song about Christianity.
Oh, we did it. We actually did an album, but unfortunately, it didn't fly.
Why?
I don't know why. He was very disappointed.
The world wanted to see him in the secular vein still.
I don't know. What he told me, he gave me a little gist. What he told me was like he expected the Christian community to accept him when he came into the fold, hoping that they were going to support the album and all that. But eventually, he was disappointed.
When you were recording people, if they were singing gospel or they were singing secular, was there a different vibe in the studio?
Well, no, not always. Because music is music. At the end of the day, music is music. But then you just try as much as possible that when you are doing religious things, the environment becomes a bit, it becomes a bit. It becomes a bit religious. People, you have to comport yourself. That's enemy by heart. So I watch moves to bar.
So you did Obutan team with Francis Ajay. What was it like working with him?
Francis Ajay, we did a CHM actually, Combined Arts of Music.
Danny South was studio.
What happened was he came to me and we were supposed to do the album, but he came to do inquiries and then he went. But I didn't hear from him for a long time. And then he came back in the studio. When he came, he looked so forlorn and dejected. So he looked terrible, and I said, "Oh, Francis, what is happening?" And then he had lost hope about something. I knew something was in the West. I was asking myself what was happening, and he said, "Oh, where he was supposed to get the sponsorship for that album, it wasn't coming. The people are kind of disappointing him. They haven't actually disappointed him yet, but they are kind of. It looks like he'll be disappointed. So he doesn't know." And I put my arm around him. I told him, "Look, Francis, don't worry. We'll do it. We'll do this album. It will be great. Don't worry." I put my arm and I said, "We'll finish. So don't worry. You should go." I said, "You should go and relax. When he's ready, he comes the following week and then we take it off."
That's
kind of. And then we took it off, and eventually, when we finished, I didn't know it was going to be a hit. I had done my job. For me, I'll do the best I can for you. If it becomes a hit, we'll give thanks.
And one of the best highlight songs of its time, Atia Don't
Why?
Yeah. You did that one too?
I did that one too, yes. I think that song
Tell me about your conversation with Nana Kwame, because I had one with him. Mm-hmm. He came to me with a song, and I asked him his name. He said some English name, and I said, "Jan Kwasi Asemonoko." Ofie did the same. I said, "Bro, Nana Kwame say, Kona Kwasi San we did our record no so, Kwame Nana Kwame." And he's told that story many times. Tell me about your conversations with him when you recorded him.
Well, actually, Nana Kwame came. He didn't actually come to me. He was doing some songs around, I think, and it was actually Mark. We actually put Nana Kwame out as a competition to somebody at that time.
A competition to who?
To an artist. Because that artist was actually, I can secretly divulge that artist to you.
I'd rather you publicly divulge.
Oh, yeah, it's Rocky Damouni's brother. What's his name? Chico. Is it Chico they called him those days? Some guy. And I said, but this guy, he sings so well. And he was in another stable. Actually, I was in another stable. And recording. He was doing, and I said, "Oh, so we need somebody like this guy to match up with this guy." So when I heard Nana Kwame, I told Mark that this guy is good, so we should record him. So I told him, I kind of gave him to Mark that, Mark should take up his management and take up his administration and blah, blah, blah. So that's how we came up with Nana Kwame. So Nana Kwame, we brought him up like, not as a replacement, as a competition for somebody else. And eventually, these things, they happen.
And he had a beautiful voice.
Yeah, he had a beautiful voice.
Did you get a voice trainer to help him, or he just came with his raw voice?
No, it's just his raw voice. No. We couldn't afford a trainer. Those days, we didn't have trainers in Po.
Oh, we had trainers.
Those days,
there was a trainer in the 90s. At University of
I didn't know about that. Yes. I didn't know about that.
There was a voice trainer there.
I didn't know about that.
And there were voice trainers in the choirs. All around Ghana, there were voice trainers.
There's people who showed how to sing parts.
No, they had voice trainers.
Because look, let me tell you, the first time I encountered a voice trainer was in London.
Not in Ghana.
The first time I visited my friend's girlfriend, well, ex-girlfriend at that time, she was into singing, and she sometimes took us to go and see the guy, the trainer, and one day KKD, we went to the guy, and I met the guy. We met like this, and the guy opened his mouth to talk, and you could hear the quality of the voice. I said, that was when I said that my sister is in good hands, because I knew.
Oh, he gargles with Hennessy.
How does he do that?
You gargle with Hennessy.
No. But he sounded, even his talking voice was so beautiful.
When I was on radio, when I started radio, GBC when I was 19, I used to gargle with warm water every morning, because I had a man who lived not far from our home. We used to call him Intishilebi, very man. And he told me my voice was light, and I needed to let my voice, mature. So he told me every morning, gargle with warm water, open that. And then he taught me how to breathe and speak and all that. So with him teaching me that, because he sang in the choir at the Methodist Church, St. Paul's Methodist, I know that there were voice trainers in Ghana. Maybe people just didn't recognize.
Maybe we just didn't know, because we're so immersed in what we're doing. So we didn't really, we thought we're okay. So I think maybe we must have overlooked all those things.
So because when you watch the talent shows we have on TV in Ghana, it is very clear that a lot of our singers need voice trainers.
Oh, yeah. But even today, I don't know how many voice trainers we have. I think there's one or two.
I'm also interested in your relationship with Okomfo Kwade when you worked with him.
Oh, yeah. It was so interesting. Kwade used to eat coconuts more than anybody. Every time Kwade was always getting coconuts in the yard to get coconut to eat.
Pekube.
Your Pekube brutal. We're always eating coconuts at that time, that session. It was very interesting. The guy knows his craft. He knows his craft. There was an occasion where I was doing one of his songs. I can't remember the particular song, but he has a style of this rap. He has a style like he goes up some kind of way. So I threw his voice on the song, just slapped it on the song like that. And the guy came and heard what I did. The thing is not on time. And I was like, but what you're doing is not on time, so how do you know it's not on time?
It is on time.
He said, look, sure. So I sat down, and when I took the wave and I aligned everything, he told me. And then when everything aligned, he said, yes, everything had aligned. So the guy knows his craft. He knows his craft. The other time I saw him on social media, and I wept. And I like, why did they do this to him? And every time showcasing him on social media. And if you're not going to help the guy, don't.
We have evil people among us. There are people who will never show you at your best, but will look for your worst.
Yeah.
And that is what they will show.
Oh.
These are evil people.
It's painful.
These are not just stupid people, because stupid people just can't help stupid. But some are consciously evil.
Oh. And then when I listen to him on those videos, it's like, no, the guy is he still has it. Because sometimes you hear him rapping with some of the songs, his old songs, and he still does everything. Everything is there. It's speak and span. So I don't understand why he still goes through all those issues and all those problems. And nobody is out there to say that.
People don't recognize that mental health is a major issue everywhere in the world. You see, when you get a cut, on your leg, you can see the sore. When something goes wrong in your head, nobody sees it. And a lot of people are living with depression and mental health issues. So when I see anybody who wants to take advantage to trend on social media with somebody's mental health issues, whether it's a marriage falling apart, whether it's somebody going through some suffering, I'm like, how evil can you be? In fact, I blocked somebody who used to converse with me just because they started sending me videos of people who had problems. And I called once and I said, what is the purpose? Oh, KKD, we are too serious. I'm like, no. What is the purpose? Because this is the third time you've sent me videos of somebody in distress. What is the purpose? And I said, for my own mental health, I'm going to have to block you. And I blocked it. And people need to understand that this social media thing is good for learning. There's so much you can learn on social media.
So much. There's so much I learn.
But it's also has a space that is reserved for fools. And if you decide to join the fools, be careful who you share it with, because not everybody will suffer you diligently.
Because even when your time comes, they're the same fools.
But that's the whole idea. But I guess all this is part of our upbringing, which is my next discussion with you. There are certain things you cannot erase because of the way you were conditioned as a child. And certain things that you take on with confidence, and they help you build your pride and dignity. Tell me about your upbringing.
My upbringing wasn't so eventful. I was born in Accra, obviously. But I grew up in Asylum Down. And I went to school.
You grew up in the city?
Yeah.
Asylum Down is in the city?
Yes, in the city, yeah. And I went to school at Memorial.
And you're saying my childhood was not so eventful. You were born and raised in the city.
You know,
you could walk to a hospital.
Do you know I went to school just by GBC?
Which one?
Agri Memorial International.
Interesting.
You what with GBC?
Okay.
That's why I went to my primary school. You know, so I was always in touch with some of these some of them back in those days. Yeah. So that was why I went to school, and then from there.
Tell me about mom and dad and neighbors and friends when you were a boy.
That's what I'm saying. And don't. Well, let's not forget. But maybe now have to believe that I was born alone. You know, I'm an only child, and so yeah.
That's why I said friends, neighborhood.
I'm an only child, so I grew up alone. So it wasn't easy. It's not easy growing up alone. There's nobody to share with. There's nobody to. Sometimes you need people around you to learn from, share with them. And I think most of them are people I learned from or share with were my cousins. Because I didn't have siblings by myself. So most of the people I learned with were my cousins and my friends in Asylum Down. So yeah, that was where the action was at.
Did you play football?
Well, I didn't really play football. We all played football like everybody else. My father bought football for me. He bought balls for me. So we all play football like everybody else.
Your father bought balls for you?
Yes.
Almost good.
Well, it wasn't like it was the best, but I was alone, so we didn't have to struggle for too much. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't have to compete with too many people. So I didn't have to compete with too many people when it came to some things. I was alone, so I took it that. That was why I said it was honest.
Favorite food as a boy?
Come again?
Favorite food as a boy?
My favorite food was rice. In fact, gobe.
Fried plantain and beans.
Anytime I closed from school at Agri Memorial, anytime I came home, gobe was supposed to be ready for me. It was my afternoon meal I never missed. So that's why all my cousins tell me that I grew tall because of eating beans. So when they want their children to grow tall, they tell them to eat beans. And I tell them that it's not the beans, it's genetic. You know, so yeah. So in Asylum Down, I grew up. And then from Agri Memorial, I went to Accra. And that was...
You did very well.
That was a huge culture shock for me. Imagine an 11-year-old boy in the secondary school.
But you were a tall 11-year-old boy.
I was tall. I was 11.
You went to school young.
My year, I was the youngest guy in the school. When I went to school, I was the youngest. There was another guy who was the same age as me, but he was born in April. I was born in May. So I was the youngest guy in Accra. So having gone there, having had all the bad treatment or all the bad life that I knew of at Asylum Down, going to school, and then from Asylum Down we moved to South Odoko. That was where I went to school. And so moving from there to school was a culture shock. And I was a little boy. So I went to meet some of my uncles. People were in sixth form and things. People were old. You know, so it was a culture shock, like waking up early in the morning, the senior on duty coming to clap for you, to wake up early in the morning, 4 a.m. to go and jog and things. I hadn't done that before, KKD. So it was a culture shock. I was always crying in that school.
Oh.
I was also always...
So you were a dadaba?
I was a dadaba. I was always crying because I was 11 years. I was only 11. So I didn't know anything.
What was your favorite subject?
My favorite subject was literature. I love literature. I like to read the English and try to determine the meaning.
Any instance where you felt or were actually bullied?
Bullying. Oh yeah. But I mean, for me, those things I just take them as part of the learning process. So I don't really take it to heart. So some of them I've even forgotten about them.
I really think we should call bullies out, because if we don't, people will still perpetuate the nonsense of the past.
Well,
you heard of the kid who was slapping other kids with a cutlass?
Oh,
It's whether you think it's a joke or not, it's not funny.
it's not funny.
Every bullying must be called out. Every bullying.
No, but I'm a parent. Like
but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm asking you. Even in old age, there are people who feel traumatized because of bullying when they were much younger. So maybe you were not bullied.
No. I had a few bullying because I had a few calling out because people used to worry because of my height. I used to get a lot of flack for it. I mean, some of the book and go come on, that kind of thing. So I used to have that kind of. So it didn't rob me of my confidence when I was growing up at a certain point. Till I managed to accept it. Like, look, I don't care.
Who was your best friend in Accra Academy?
My best friend, he's in London now. I think, he's in London, but he came back recently. We contacted, but we couldn't really see each other. His name is Ransford Bampuado. He's in London now. Yeah.
What does Ransford do?
I don't know. I think he's into accounting. But so we meet on a school platform on WhatsApp and stuff, but we hardly meet. He came down recently. We were supposed to meet, but I was so busy we couldn't meet.
And also did your sixth form in Accra Academy, correct?
Yes.
And then you decided to go to university. Or that insisted you should go to university?
No. I decided to. Actually, you see, I wanted some verification, some paper verification by
that you've had an education.
Yes, I went to school. You understand? I didn't want to be a dropout who was doing music because we've had so many of them. We've had so many people dropping out and do music. So I wanted to this one make school be music. So that's why I went to Tech.
So why did you choose the course you chose? Why didn't you pursue education in music then?
That was the thing. I thought I knew it already, so I didn't need that education at that time because I was so exuberant. So I thought I didn't need that at that time. Even though on hindsight today, I would have done that. If it was today, I would have done that. But then the exuberance was there, and then I got earlier. So the impetus was on to move and not to bother about anybody else. So now I'm not talking about going to school. Now going to do music in school. Let me go and do some music in some other
academic. Did you choose the course or were you offered the course?
I was offered.
That's another thing I'm learning about Ghanaian universities
I was offered. Actually,
thing about.
Actually, the secret is that my late mom, may she rest in peace, she wanted to see her son. I'm her only son. She wanted to see her son also graduate. So I just did what she wanted.
But it's a passage in life for a young person.
But I didn't regret at all.
To get an education and master something, whether a trade or something in the humanities.
Because I benefited from it.
So what did you graduate with?
Book publishing. We were the second batch. My year was the second batch. That time was a new course altogether on the campus. It was a UN sponsored course, and we were the second batch. So we were kind of called. We're come to offer in the College of Art. We're come to offer different disciplines.
Yeah.
So they told us, this is a new course that has come. So try and if you just try and just fix yourself, get in.
What were you hoping to study before you got booked?
Something got to do with art, maybe graphic design or something.
Or maybe industrial art.
Industrial art or something. But they said this, and I felt that it should be a good course. I was always of the opinion that look, my first degree is not going to be a degree. It's just going to be something I'm just going to get basically. But if I was going to get anything to work with, it was going to be my master's. So that my first degree there, I was going to get it anyway, whether good or bad, I was going to get it. So I went into it without, because I was offered a course, and I think I liked it, because it was going to at least make me stay on campus.
What would you tell a young man who is offered a course and that's not what he wants?
Well, if he can, if he If he lies within his power to get what he can get, why not? To get what he wants, why not?
Because, whatever you're educated in is good. No education is ever wasted.
Yeah, I think so.
But I think now that it's important for people to go for an education and get some grounding in the occupation, profession, or vocation that they want to practice in. I mean, I do not understand why I want to go to school to, say, study psychology if I'm going to be a fashion designer. And I know the psychology will help me understand my clients, but going to study fashion design and dressmaking itself will help me make the product.
But psychology could help you make the product too, don't you think?
Well, I think knowing the art and craft is necessary, and that's where China is beating up the rest of the world. We must understand what outcomes we are seeking. No, I'm not, like I said, you cannot say any education is ever wasted.
I think so.
But we need more artisans. We need more people who know how to make things.
Yeah, I agree.
As opposed to people who can discuss things.
I agree.
I think in Ghana, we have too many people who can discuss things and too few people who can make things.
It's true. I agree with you. Totally. We have too many people come to sit on TV and social media always talking about issues. Meanwhile, when you ask, what has this person done about this issue? Nothing. So I agree with you.
Looking at the music industry in Ghana today, everybody talks about the fact that, Nigeria is doing better than Ghana. I tell them Nigeria has a bigger population.
That's it, yeah.
They have a bigger market to sell to, and they have a bigger diaspora than Ghana.
That's it.
So if you put one great Ghanaian song out there, which is a very, very good song, and one great Nigerian song, the first thing is music appeals to people culturally before anything else. So they will get a bigger market than us. It still must not stop us from making great stuff. Looking at these two markets today, what do you think the Ghanaian producers can do to push Ghanaian music further, or music from Ghana further?
When you say producers, do you mean?
I'm not talking of the musicians. I'm talking of the producers. The people who produce the music for the musicians.
Like the companies.
You are one of them.
Okay, the producers in the studio. Oh, that one there. I don't think. Well, the only thing we can do is to learn what the craft is to also try and match up to them, whatever they are doing. Maybe they use some other technologies or which is higher than we do or something. But I don't see the point in this Nigeria and Ghana comparison. No. I don't see, because like you said, there are 3 times our population or 30 times our population. So if you put one Ghanaian hit, you get about 5 Nigerian hits. The population low. You understand what I'm saying? So I think what we have to do is we have to get into try and work into their market, because the British never sat down and said the Americans are more than us, so they will let them override us. They
still had the Beatles.
They just came with their forces. Elton John, Cliff Richard, Beatles, name them. Led Zeppelin, all the rock groups, and Phil Collins and all. They also came up marching. And don't forget, there were Australians too. Olivia Newton-John.
Of course. Even Kylie Minogue later.
Kylie Minogue, yes. So nobody will just sit there and say that because these people are too many, we can't fight them. No, you also have to try as much as possible to see how best you can meet them and also get into their system.
Is the use of our traditional languages, our local languages, making it less possible for us to engage with the markets outside Ghana? Because in Nigeria, most of the songs come in Pidgin English. If you speak English, you understand Pidgin English. So that helps them reach more people. You think songs that are sung in Twi must have hooks in English? Or songs that are sung in Ghana must have hooks in some language that more people can understand?
Well, you see, music is an art. So sometimes you can't really put restrictions on it and say that it must be this, it must be that. But language has a way of reaching people, so it's sometimes it's important when you are doing music, because people have to understand what you're saying. But I don't think it should have been. It's the way, I think probably it's the way we play our music and the way we produce it. I don't think it's got anything to do with the language, because there are other languages that we don't understand here, but we tend to fall for it. Like Mewe, we didn't understand a lot of things Mewe was singing. How did you understand anything that this man sang?
Kofi
Olomide sang. No, but we enjoyed it all the same. So sometimes it's the way we market ourselves, the way we put ourselves out there, the way we put ourselves. Are we putting our best foot forward? Sometimes we go and collect all these sankwas and go and market them. You think they'll come and they'll bother about you? You need to put the people who can. One he can fight. He's got what it takes. He's part of this. He's a strong competitor for the competition. Not like somebody who is just just add, just to have numbers.
On this show, we play a video, a selected video by my director, and then we take your comment on it.
Okay.
Let's take a look.
And here's what's interesting about difficult. It's only difficult, unfamiliar, but the longer you deal with difficult, it becomes a new word, normal. So what used to be your darkest day is now just a Tuesday. Why? Because you got stronger. I want you to know your past is proof that your future is bright, because I promise you, whatever in front of you, your personal growth hinges on how you see it. You might see it as difficult today, it could become normal next week. And it all comes down to how you think about it.
Thank you very much for joining us. Zapp Mallet, fantastic producer,
my pleasure,
who's done so much for the culture and tourism sector of Ghana. My name is Kwasi Kyei Darkwah. Thank you very much for joining us on CTV from Master of the Game. I'll see you next. Remember, may all the joy of each new day greet you with the rising sun, and may it wrap you close around until the day is done. Now we've come to the end of a beautiful story. We leave you with love and respect, and give God the glory. See ya.
Excellent furnishing in the real estate business is a great deal for survival. My struggles as a young estate developer were cut short when I discovered Fernart Ghana. With quality furniture made from the finest woods and amazing Fernart Ghana changed my story with every single home I built. It's a one-stop shop that serves the interests of clients with a variety of living room and dining sets, solid wood kitchen installations, wardrobes, doors, cabinets, beds, a